Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I want you to think about thoughts. Where do your thoughts come from? Why do you keep thinking the same thoughts over and over and over? Can you change your thoughts? And if you change your thoughts, will you change your outside world? That's what the most brilliant people who have ever lived have told us. Change your thoughts, change your life. Change your thoughts, change the way your inner talking, the way you speak to yourself, the way you speak about yourself, and that shifts your entire world. In the book Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, he says, thought is the only power that can produce tangible riches from the formless substance. The stuff from which all things are made is a substance which thinks. A thought of form in this substance produces the form. That might sound a little woo-woo or a little crazy or hard to understand, but every thought of form held in thinking substance causes the creation of that form. Wallace Waddell says, if the thought of a house of a certain construction were impressed upon the formless substance, it might not cause the instant formation of that house, but it would cause the turning of creative energies that are already working in trade and commerce into such channels as to result in the speedy building of the house. So if you decided that you wanted to live in a particular house and you thought about it and you drew pictures of it and you sat quietly and thought about what it would be like to live in that house. You designed it in your mind. You created it in your imagination. You decided how big it was going to be. 1 or 2 stories or bigger. How many bedrooms? Does it have a walkout basement, a sliding glass door where you can walk out into a spectacular backyard with a pool, with a deck? Walking in the front door, what does the door look like? Standing in front of the house, how big is it? What color is it? Walking in the front door, thinking in your imagination, what would my ideal living space look like? How do I want people to feel when they walk into my home? Is it big and spacious? Is there a lot of white, a lot of empty space? Or is it cozy and warm? What color are the walls? When I look out the window, what is the view? You can do so much with your imagination. Wallace Waddell says, no thought of form can be impressed upon the original substance without causing the creation of that form. A human being is a thinking center and can originate thought. All the forms that a person fashions with his or her hands must first emerge from thought. The house doesn't automatically appear. You must shape the thing in your mind until you decide that's what it's going to look like. That's what I want. then maybe you have someone draw the diagram for you, or you pick out one that's already designed by someone. It's pretty rare that a person builds their own house, but this past weekend, I was reminded of a great grandfather who built a house not out of logs, but of railway ties. A 2-room house in the middle of nowhere. He broke the land. He built a farm. He built a house. He built a family that came from thinking, imagining a better life, a better world, and making it happen, sacrificing, working to create something out of nothing. That's how everything starts. When an individual has a thought, they take material from the forms of nature and make an image of the form which is in the mind. You can do that with a house. You can do that inventing a new business, a way of doing something that has never been thought of before. You can build a building and put stuff in it and sell it and call it a store, or you can decide, I don't want to have a physical building. I want to sell things. But what if people just placed an order on their computer and the next day it was delivered to their home? How fast life has changed from the time of building a log house on the prairies, ordering a house from the Eaton's or Sears catalog and having it shipped by rail, and having a house shipped across the country. And now you can have whatever you want. But you think about what it is that you want, and it appears. It doesn't have to be a material thing. It doesn't have to be a house. What does a loving relationship look like? What would it feel like? What would you be doing together? What kind of activities, experiences, fun would you be having if you were in love and spending your life with another person? Have you got room in your closet for that person? Have you got room in your heart, in your mind, to share your life with someone else? Wallace Waddle says a human being is a thinking center capable of original thought. And if anyone can communicate their thought to original thinking substance, we can cause the creation or formation of the thing we think about. Everything starts in your imagination. Rather than using your imagination against you, like many people do, what if you designed a future that you really want and thought about it as if it was here now, and notice how your life starts to change? Your conscious mind is your thinking mind. It's your educated mind. You can design a picture of what you want, something that has never been created before, or something that already is that you can improve upon. That's how life has been changing and getting better and better and better, is because a person, any any individual or group of people have looked at something that is not how they want it anymore, something that is that they would like to improve, and they said, what if we did this? What if we changed that? What if we just moved this around? It starts by calming your mind and thinking about solutions rather than focusing on problems. It comes from getting clear on what do you really want. And then taking that idea and planting it in the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the emotional mind. You become emotionally involved with your ideas, with your dreams, with the thought in your imagination. And then as you move them from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind is in every cell of your body. The vibrational energy of your entire body is altered with the emotional involvement of the dream, of the idea, of the picture in your mind, of what you really want. Your body is a molecular structure in a high vibrational energy. It's vibrating at a very high speed. Vibration is the natural law of the universe. Everything vibrates, nothing rests. We literally live in an ocean of motion. As your subconscious mind, so you take your beautiful idea, the house, the relationship, the trip around the world, purposeful work, whatever you want to create, and you spend some time in your imagination, getting calm, getting clear, getting focused on what you really want, and then using your beautiful intellectual faculty of imagination to visualize it, to get to see it on the screen of your mind, but not just seeing it, acting as if you are in a movie theater, you're watching it on the screen, but you get so emotionally involved that you feel like you're in the movie. You feel like what's happening on the screen is happening to you. You're getting emotionally involved, and then every cell of your body is vibrating. And these vibrations are not only expressed in now taking new action, that also sets up a magnetic force. The energy is emanating from your body into the invisible universe around you, and it's like a magnetic force. You begin to attract to you everything that vibrates in harmony with you. And you begin attracting to you everything that vibrates in harmony with your goal. That action attraction is what alters your results. You think thoughts of your goal already manifested, whether it's a house, a trip, a business, a beautiful, loving relationship, whatever it is that you want. Get into the feeling as if that's already here, it's already yours. You're experiencing it now in every cell of your being. So you're thinking it in your conscious mind, you're getting emotionally involved. Your subconscious mind is your emotional mind, and it's what's going on in the emotional mind that determines your behavior or the actions that your body starts to take. When you start to take different actions from the feeling as if you're already loved, you're already wealthy, you're already living in the dream, then you start to acquire a new idea, a new habit, a new way of doing things. Your action causes a new reaction in the universe. Your conscious mind programs your subconscious, it controls your subconscious mind. So Wallace Wattles tells us there is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. You can form things in your thought, and by impressing your thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing you think about to be created. Now, you don't just do this once, you do this often, you do this regularly, you do this with emotion. First thing in the morning, when your mind is still in a gentle, loving, half sleepy state, and then maybe you spend some time writing it. Writing causes thinking. So you take a pen and a journal or a piece of paper or a goal card, and you write down what it is that you deeply desire as if it's already yours. Being grateful, getting into that spirit of gratitude, feeling the well-being and expressing how you would be feeling, what you would be doing if you already had that goal accomplished. And writing, I am so happy and grateful now that I am living in my dream house, now that I am loved, now that I am respected, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I've created the life of my dreams. How would you be feeling? Write that down. Get into that feeling so that you're so emotionally involved. It has to move into form. Wallace Waddle said, an individual gets rich by doing things in a certain way. In order to do so, you must become able to think in a certain way. Your way of doing things is a direct result of the way you think about things. To do things in a way you want to do them, you will have to acquire the ability to think the way you want to think. This is the first step toward getting rich, toward getting the marriage that you desire, the business flourishing the way you want it to be. Whatever it is you desire, to think what you want to think is to think truth regardless of appearances. You don't look around and complain about what is. You get into the feeling of what it's going to be like when your goal has been attained. You already are the person that has the goal. You're already doing what you want to be doing. Get into that feeling that it's already done. You have the natural and inherent power to think what you want to think, but it requires far more effort to do so than it does to think thoughts which are suggested by appearances. To think, to look around you and see what is current reality and think according to what is already here, that's easy. To think truth, to think what you want to create, to think truth regardless of appearances is laborious. It requires the expenditure of more power than any other work that you have to perform. And there is no labor from which most people shrink as they do from that of sustained and consecutive thought. Wallace D. Waddell says this is the hardest work in the world. It's especially true when truth is contrary to appearances. Every appearance in the visible world tends to produce a corresponding form in the mind which observes it. And this can only be prevented by holding the thought of the truth, the thought of what you want to create. I'm going to repeat what he said. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. You can form things in your thought, and by impressing thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing you think about to be created. Don't ask how. Don't speculate on how it can be true. Just take this on trust. The science of getting rich begins with the absolute acceptance of this truth. Bob Proctor, my mentor, said, faith and fear both demand that you believe in something you cannot see. It's your choice. You can choose to remain focused on what you don't want, or you can build castles in your imagination, and by thinking about them, feeling as if it's already yours, and getting into that vibrational energy of how it feels to be there, getting emotionally involved. Why do you want it? What's it going to do for you and your family? How is that going to help? How will that change your outer circumstances? How will that change your world? You get so excited for the new opportunities, the easy flowing way that you'll be living. Maybe it's luxury, maybe it's ease, maybe it's love, maybe it's comfort, health, wealth, whatever it is. Feeling is the word we invented to describe our conscious awareness of the vibration that we're in. What feeling? What would you be consciously aware of if you were already at your destination? The goal is accomplished. Your life is the way you truly imagined it, the way you designed it, the way you created it. How would you be feeling? Get into that feeling so that you become a magnetic force and you begin to attract to you everything that is vibrating in harmony with you. As you take action, you cause a reaction in the universe. And that action reaction, that action attraction is what will alter your reality. You must be open to receive. If you find things that are coming into your life that are not to your liking, you've got to ask yourself, how am I acting? What am I emotionally involved with? What kinds of ideas am I thinking? You can always tell what's happening on the inside by what's happening on the outside. We spend so much of our day on autopilot. I want you to spend 5 minutes just thinking about what it's like to already have your wish fulfilled. Your deep desire is already physical reality. You've thought about it, you've designed it in your mind, you've become so emotionally involved that you know what it's going to be like. You can train your body to feel that you're already there. It's done. You're grateful. I am so happy and grateful now that this is my life. If you sit quietly and ask for guidance for the day, ideas will come to you from out of the blue, from your higher self, from the spiritual side of you. Use the power of your mind to create what you want and become magnetically charged in every cell of your being and start to act like the person that has the goal. As you start to do things differently, as you start to visualize what you want and be there in your mind, know that what you really want becomes your reality. What you think about predominantly shows up in your world. Where are you spending your thoughts? Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Enjoy your day. And at 9 o'clock this morning, I'll be talking to my clients about the responsibilities that you have in thinking, creating, acting as if you already have your goal. Enjoy your day. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.